Hey friends, welcome back. I'm Phoenix, a quiet girl with a strong spirit and a heart that loves to wander. Life has taught me how to be strong. Through every challenge, I collect stories, and here I share them with you. So take a deep breath, and let's begin today's journey together. Thank you, truly, for being here with me again. Every time you press play, it feels like we're meeting in a quiet little cafe at midnight, where hearts can finally breathe and nothing needs to be rushed. I imagine you with your headphones on, maybe lying in bed, maybe walking home slowly after a long day, or simply sitting still beside a window. However you are right now, I want you to know, this space is yours. Safe, calm, and quiet. This podcast is a small light, and that light belongs to you too. Tonight, I want to talk about something that feels soft but powerful. Something we all wish for, but sometimes find so hard to hold. Positivity. Not the kind that pretends everything's fine. Not the loud, shiny kind you see on social media. But the quiet kind. The gentle kind. The kind that wakes you up in the morning and whispers, "Try again today. Just try again." So tonight, let's walk together. We'll talk about why it's hard to stay positive and why that's okay. We'll find simple ways to bring light into our day. We'll hear a story, one you probably know, about someone small who became great, not by luck, but by holding on to hope. And we'll end, as we always do, with a blessing for your night. Ready? Take one more deep breath. Let it out slowly. Let's begin. This morning I went for a walk. The sky was pale blue, and the trees were holding their breath. Not a single leaf moved. The world felt unusually quiet, as if it was waiting for something. I didn't have anywhere to go. No plan. I just needed to move. As I turned the corner into the park, I noticed an older man sitting on a bench. He wasn't doing much, just sitting, watching the small pond in front of him. His hands were resting on his knees, his back a little curved, like time had gently folded him forward. He looked so still, like he'd been there for years. I almost walked past him. But then something small happened. A little boy, maybe 4 years old, ran up to the pond with a slice of bread. He shouted, not with words, but with joy. Pure, loud joy. He threw the bread, and the ducks came flapping over, their feathers shaking the water like soft applause. And that old man, he smiled. It wasn't a big smile. Not the kind people post online. It was quiet, barely there. But it changed his whole face, softened the wrinkles around his mouth, lit a tiny spark in his tired eyes. He didn't say anything, just watched. And smiled. And in that moment I felt it. That small shift. Like watching sunlight slip through a curtain you thought was closed. I kept walking, but my mind stayed with him. How many moments like that pass us by, unnoticed? How often do we miss these quiet gifts life gives us? A smile we didn't expect. A breeze that smells like childhood. A stranger holding the door when we needed it most. They're so easy to miss, but they're everywhere. Have you ever had a moment like that? One that seemed small on the outside, but softened something inside you? Maybe someone sent you a text at the exact right time. Maybe a dog looked at you like you were made of kindness. Maybe you heard your favorite song when you thought you were too tired to feel anything. Tiny moments. But when you're hurting, they matter. Sometimes we think positivity means forcing ourselves to be happy. But I don't think that's true. I think positivity is more like gardening. You don't wake up and demand flowers. You plant a seed. You water it. You wait. You notice the sun. You watch the rain. And one day, quietly, something blooms. That smile on the old man's face? It was just 1 second. But it stayed with me all day. Because it reminded me that joy doesn't have to shout. Sometimes it just sits on a park bench in silence and waits for a little boy with a piece of bread. I want to ask you something. What is your park bench moment? What's one small thing that made you feel lighter, even for a second, this week? It doesn't have to be big. In fact, it's better if it's not. Maybe someone remembered your name. Maybe you finally had a full night of sleep. Maybe the sun touched your skin in that one perfect way. Whatever it is, let it matter. Because these small things, they are not background noise. They are the music. We are trained to think that joy has to be loud, that positivity has to be huge, that we must earn happiness through success, beauty, productivity. But I think positivity is much, much quieter. It hides in corners. It slips into quiet mornings. It lives inside the decision to notice, to pause, to breathe, to smile back. Later that day, I passed the bench again. The man was gone, but the ducks were still there. And so was the smile, not on his face anymore, but on mine. That's what we're going to explore tonight. Not how to be positive all the time. Not how to fake a smile. but how to notice one, how to receive one, and maybe how to give one too. Are you ready to take that step with me? Just one small moment at a time. Let's go. Let's be honest now. Positivity sounds simple, but living it? That's the hard part. There are days when your eyes open, and already, something feels heavy. You haven't even gotten out of bed, but your chest, it already carries weight. And you don't even know why. It's not that anything big happened. It's just everything. The unfinished work. The tired body. The unanswered messages. The noise in your mind. The quiet ache of feeling like you're falling behind while everyone else is glowing. And then comes the voice. That little one in your head that says, "Why can't you just be more grateful? Other people have it worse. Stop being so negative." But none of those thoughts help. They only make you feel worse, like you're broken, like you're failing some invisible test. So let me say this gently. You are not broken. You are not weak. You're just human. And being human means you feel things deeply. It means some days you carry invisible weights. And it means sometimes positivity feels a million miles away. And that's okay. Here's a metaphor I love. Imagine you're standing at the bottom of a well. It's deep, and the sky looks very, very far away. From that place, even the sun feels like a stranger. You know it's there. You want to believe it's there. But it's so far, it doesn't feel real anymore. That's what sadness does. That's what burnout or fear or long-term stress does. It pulls you into a space where the light feels unreachable. But the truth is, the light never left. It's just that your position changed. You're still you. The world is still beautiful. You just can't see it clearly from where you are. That's why I believe positivity isn't a feeling. It's a practice. It's not waking up happy. It's waking up tired, but getting up anyway. It's whispering, "I'll try again," even when your heart is quiet. And no, it's not easy. Especially when you're scrolling through perfect photos, perfect quotes, perfect lives. And your own feels messy. But remember this. Social media shows the window, not the room. And even the sunniest windows can belong to rooms that are filled with shadows. You're not alone in this. Not in your overthinking. Not in your quiet sadness. Not in your secret wish that someone somewhere would just say, "Hey, I know it's hard, and you're doing better than you think. So let me be that person tonight. You are not too late. You are not too soft. You are not too sensitive. You're just feeling the world. And that takes courage." Here's another image for you. Imagine your heart is like a little candle in the wind. Some days the flame burns bright. Other days it flickers, almost gone. But it never fully dies. Even when it's small, it's still warm. It still gives light. It still matters. That's your positivity. It may flicker, but it's there. And it only needs a little protection, not pressure, not punishment, not perfection, just gentleness. So tonight we let go of the idea that we have to be positive all the time. That we have to smile when we're hurting. That we have to hide our feelings just to be accepted. No, positivity is not pretending. Positivity is choosing softness over shame. My dear friend, if your candle feels small tonight, let this episode be your shelter. Let my voice be a little hand around the flame. Let this space be where you can breathe again. You don't need to shine bright. You just need to stay lit. That's enough. So now we know, positivity isn't something we wait for. It's not something that visits us only when everything goes well. It's something we practice, a tiny decision we make again and again. When your heart feels heavy, when your thoughts feel noisy, when your smile feels far away, you don't need to jump into joy. You just need to shift your angle, even just 1 degree. Because sometimes all it takes is one tiny turn, and the light hits differently. I remember one night, I had been crying. Not a dramatic cry, just a quiet one. The kind that comes when everything feels too much. And I stood by my window, not looking for anything. Just breathing. And suddenly it started raining. The sound of it on the roof. The way the streetlights made the raindrops look like falling stars. The cool air on my skin. It didn't fix everything. But something softened. And in that moment, I realized something important. We don't have to chase happiness. Sometimes we just need to open the window. Let me offer you 3 small steps. They're not big. Not hard. But they matter. 1. Notice one good thing. It could be your warm blanket. The cup of tea in your hands. Or maybe this exact moment. You listening to this podcast, giving your heart a little space. Let it be enough. Let it be the first drop of light. 2. Speak one kind word to yourself. Just one. It could be, "I'm doing my best. I am still here. This is hard, but I'm trying." Whisper it like a lullaby. Let it echo softly through your body. 3. Take one gentle action. Something small. Something slow. Write in your journal. Stretch your arms. Wash your face with warm water. Light a candle. The action itself isn't the goal. The message you send yourself is, I'm worth this care. Let me say it again, slowly, like a rhythm your heart can follow. One good thing. One kind word. One gentle action. That's all it takes to begin the shift. From heavy to light. From stuck to moving. From numb to alive. You are enough. We often think change needs to be huge. But even the moon with all her power changes slowly. One phase at a time. So why should we rush our own light? Here's a metaphor for you. Imagine you're in a dark room. No windows, no doors. Just you. And in your hand, a match. You strike it, and for a moment, light. It's small. It won't last long. But in that one moment, you see your surroundings. You see your hands. You remember, I exist. I am here. That match? That's your small action. Not forever, but enough to help you take the next step. So let's reframe what positivity means. It doesn't mean being cheerful all the time. It doesn't mean smiling through pain. It doesn't mean forcing fake gratitude. It means staying open. It means planting seeds. It means believing that even small warmth matters. I want you to try something tomorrow. When you wake up, don't ask, how can I be positive all day? Instead ask, what is one kind thing I can do for myself today? What is one light I can notice just for a moment? Then do that. Only that. And let it be enough. Because the shift doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to begin. Let me repeat our soft rhythm again, one last time. One good thing. One kind word. One gentle action. That is your compass. That is your doorway. That is your light. Here is a truth I've been learning. Positivity is not something you are born with. It's something you build. Not in one big moment, but in 100 small ones. People look at those who seem calm, kind, warm, and think, wow, they must have an easy life. They must have something I don't. They're just naturally that way. But here's what I believe. The kindest people are often the ones who have suffered most. The gentlest people are the ones who've seen the storm up close. And the most positive hearts are the ones who have learned to rebuild again and again. Positivity doesn't come from a perfect life. It comes from choosing to try, even when life isn't perfect. Let me tell you a small story. One time years ago I burned a pot of rice. It sounds silly now, but that day it broke me. I was already exhausted, already feeling behind on everything. And when the smell of burned rice filled the kitchen, I just sat on the floor and cried. Not because of the rice, but because of everything. But then, after a while, I stood up. I opened a window. I turned on some soft music. I started cooking again slowly. This time just eggs and toast. And while they cooked, I whispered to myself, this day is not ruined. This moment is not everything. That moment didn't erase the stress. But it reminded me, I still have power. I can still choose how to move forward. And that is the heart of positivity. Not ignoring the burn, but choosing to make toast anyway. So here's the truth spark I want you to hold close tonight. You always have a choice. Not over what happens, but over what happens next. You don't need to feel inspired to begin again. You just need to begin again, and let the feeling catch up later. You don't need to know the full path. You just need to take the next step with tenderness. Let's say this together, like a promise between you and me. I will stop waiting for life to feel perfect. I will begin again from wherever I am. I will build my positivity one breath at a time. Say it once more. Feel it land in your chest. Let it soften the sharp edges. Because the truth is, positive people are not fearless. They just stop letting fear make all the decisions. You are allowed to feel tired. You are allowed to cry over burnt rice. You are allowed to begin again, even if it's the 100th time. Every small return, every small choice, every small light, is you being positive. Not fake, not loud, not perfect, just real. Let's pause and look at a quiet but powerful shift in thinking. Because sometimes when we feel stuck, our minds whisper things like, I'll be positive when my life is better. I'll be positive when I finally succeed. I'll be positive when I stop failing. But what if it works the other way around? What if it's not success, positivity, but instead, positivity, success? Let's flip the mindset. Let's say, I will practice positivity now and let it shape the life I want to build. Because here's something simple but true. Positivity is not the reward. It's the foundation. Think about this story. You probably know the name, Lionel Messi. Today, he's a global legend. But back then, he was just a small boy in Rosario, Argentina. Messi had a dream, to play football. But doctors told him he was too small, too weak. He had a growth hormone deficiency, and many clubs rejected him. He could have stopped there. He could have told himself, when my body grows, then I'll believe in myself. But he didn't wait. He kept training, kept showing up, kept believing, even when nobody was watching. That was his mindset. That was his quiet form of positivity. Messi didn't become great and then feel strong. He felt strong before the world called him great. He chose to plant seeds, long before anyone saw the tree. And you can do that too. You may feel small today. You may feel overlooked, underprepared, unsure. But the way you speak to yourself now, it matters. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to win a trophy. You just have to keep showing up, with heart. Let's reframe the way we meet each day. Instead of, I'll smile when life is easier. Try, I'll smile today gently, and let life meet me there. Instead of, I'll believe in myself when I'm better. Try, I'll believe in myself while I'm becoming better. The most powerful stories start with quiet beginnings. They start with someone small, choosing not to give up. And that could be you. Let's whisper it together. I don't need a perfect beginning. I don't need a perfect tomorrow. I only need one seed of hope today. That's what Messi teaches us. That imperfect beginnings can still create something extraordinary. That belief is not a result, it's a decision. That positivity is not about shouting, but about showing up. Even when you're small. Even when you're scared. Even when no one's watching. Because when life tells you, you can't, your heart can still whisper back, watch me try. And that, my friend, is the most beautiful kind of positivity. Before we close our journey tonight, let's learn one soft little phrase that speaks to everything we've talked about. The idiom is, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. This means, when something bad or difficult happens, try to turn it into something good. Try to make something sweet out of something sour. The lemons are life's problems. The lemonade is what you choose to create from them. Think of Messi again. His lemon was being told he was too small. Many clubs rejected him. But he turned that sour moment into lemonade. He trained harder, sharpened his skills, and kept believing. Or the old man on the park bench. Maybe his lemon was loneliness. But when the boy fed the ducks, he chose to enjoy the small sweetness of that moment. That was his lemonade. Right now, think of one lemon in your life. Maybe it's stress. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's something that didn't go as you planned. Now ask yourself, what kind of lemonade can I make from this? It could be a lesson. It could be a new opportunity. It could be just the strength you gain by surviving it. Whisper softly to yourself, when life gives me lemons, I will make lemonade. Say it again. Feel how it changes the way your heart meets difficulty. This idiom is more than English. It's a way of living. It reminds you that you always have power. You cannot choose all the events of your life, but you can choose what you create out of them. So the next time life hands you something sour, remember, you have the recipe for sweetness inside you. So, my friend, let's take a moment to breathe together. Tonight, we walked through many thoughts. We saw the old man on the bench, smiling because of a little boy. We named the struggles, the heavy days, the doubts, the silence. We shifted perspective, noticing one good thing, one kind word, one gentle action. We held the truth spark. Positivity is not a condition, it's a choice. We learned from Messi that imperfect beginnings can still grow into extraordinary journeys. And we carried an idiom with us. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But what does this all mean for tomorrow? How can you carry this into your own life? Here's my invitation. Choose one small act of positivity tomorrow. Just one. It could be smiling at yourself in the mirror. It could be sending a kind message to a friend. It could be writing down one thing you're grateful for. It could be looking at the sky and whispering, I'm still here. Not a big change. Just one drop of light. Because one drop becomes two, becomes three. And before you know it, you've built a river inside you. Remember, you don't have to be positive all the time. Nobody is. You don't have to deny your sadness. It's real and it matters. But you also don't have to let sadness be the only voice. You can choose to add another voice, a softer one, a kinder one, a hopeful one. That is positivity. Not perfection, but balance. So tonight, as you prepare to rest, let me give you this blessing. May you see the small lights tomorrow. May you notice the quiet joys waiting around you. May your heavy moments be softened by one smile, one word, one breath. And may you remember, you are stronger than your doubts and softer than your fears. You carry light, even when you cannot see it. If these words touched you, I invite you to share them with someone who needs them. Because positivity multiplies when it is shared. And if you try that one small action tomorrow, Send me a thought, a comment, a whisper to the universe. I'll be listening. For now, my friend, close your eyes. Let the day fall away. And let this truth stay with you. You do not need a perfect life to choose positivity. You only need this moment. Thank you for walking with me tonight. Until next time. This is Phoenix wishing you peace, hope, and a gentle night. Good night.